As I click to open my daily pack today, I think to myself, Tom, please. And then I get two from a single pack. Hello? Hello. Today, we're going to be doing something that I had not planned to do in my schedule of guide videos. And that is to talk about clearing hard, very hard, as well as any of the difficult story missions. And I think a lot of you won't like what I have to say about this, or you'll either like it or you'll find it funny, or you'll think this guy is lying. Because my tip is not gameplay related. My tip is not, how to play better related. My tip really isn't actually about playing the game at all. It's actually about the way you build your deck, and then what the system chooses to do with it going forward. Now, just to show you, I'm gonna quickly switch to my Japanese account and just show you that. I mean, first things first, I'm gonna do a ranked guide very soon in just a couple days. But just to show you that I'm justified to do a ranked guide. I'm finishing top 100 this season, but to show you that I have actually cleared all the character fights. I'll just show you a few, even the most recent ones we've had in the Japanese server. For example, Gold Paladin, all done. Narukami. Actually, I've been lazy to do this because I have 4 Vermilion, so I just stopped. But I'll still do it regardless anyway. Great Nature, and then Angels. So all that stuff. And then, people always find Kagero really hard. Got that one cleared. And then, going forward, it's Shadows, all done. Pale Moon, all done. Just everything is done, basically. However, let's go back to our English side. My voice sounds a bit raspy because I just woke up recently. But on the English side, of course, I also have all of them done. But the way that I do them is, obviously when the game came out in Japan, I did them the way that everybody does. Build a deck, try to outsmart the AI, get over the big power requirements that they have. But then at one point, I realized that I don't need to be putting in this much effort, because this can be cleared without that. And so we kind of slightly abuse part of the system to get it done, but it is a legitimate way. Also, I just realized they only have 10 stamina, so I'm gonna have to wait for a few more stamina to come up, and then we're gonna continue this video. But before we stop that, we're gonna try to do Kai, because Kai is the one people mostly complain about, right? So we're gonna do very hard, and I'm gonna show you exactly how we're gonna do it. So we're not gonna go to the fight yet. What we're gonna do is gonna go to deck build, and we're gonna make a new deck. And I'm going to show you this. The way you build this deck is how you should approach everything. Actually, I don't even need to make a new deck. I just need to change up triggers, actually, in my current deck. So what we're going to do is go to our deck. This is the exact same one that you saw in the video. So you can see here, I'll do confirm deck. So, same one that we had before. All that good stuff. Except what we're going to change is... I don't know, this stays on heal. We're going to put all the draws, all the other triggers that are not heals on crits, so that you're playing 9 crit. And what you're gonna do with this 9 crit is you're gonna auto battle. And I feel like a lot of people won't like that, because it's you're not actually making it skill based, you're not actually doing it yourself. But literally what you do is you make a deck of any clan, you just fill it with crits, and you go auto fight. Just times 5 speed. It's gonna fail a lot of times. It will most likely fail a few times, or it'll succeed but, finish at 5 damage, something like that. But then if you keep trying, it will actually manage. All character fights that have come out in the last 2 months in Japan, I've cleared like this. All the character fights in English, I've cleared like this. Because all you do is, it fails a bunch of times, but what the system does is that if you fail a character fight or a story fight, it only costs 1 stamina to retry. Or I think lately it hasn't cost anything, actually, it feels like. I think they actually don't make it cost nothing to retry. So what you do is just retry. Just retry until the AI gets it. Let the CPU just bash face and get double crit while your opponent's on 3 damage, and they have no PGs, and that's it. It really is that easy. And I'm going to show you an example. It might take a few attempts, but I will show you that this is actually possible. And I do this with every single clan now. When in June, when Dark Irregulars comes out, there will be a way to actually have another way to challenge character fights, because character fights all have 3 requirements to get to 3 stars, right? So first one is to beat it with the clan, the respective clan, and then the second one is to do it in 6 turns or less. So let's take a look here. So win using the clan, win in 6 turns, and win with 4 damage or less. And most people struggle with this last one. It gives you a pack as well, so you don't wanna miss out on it. But the thing is that this one, okay, the bot can do this. The bot can also do this. But the 4 damage or less, sometimes the bot might not manage for a while. And when we get Dark Regulars in June, they get a triple rare called No Life King, which basically says when it attacks, if you have 5 damage, you put all your damage into your soul, and for that battle, he gains plus 10k and a crit. And then only after the battle ends, you put 5 cards from the top of your deck face down in your damage zone. So what that means is that you actually, if you win when he attacks, you win on 0 damage. Meaning that you get the win with 4 damage or less requirement. So what I sometimes do is, I let the AI handle these first 2, and then I switch into Dark Regulars and get this one for myself. Like, if I'm desperately trying to, like, as soon as possible clear the character fight so I can, like, quick fight it. But that's, like, only if I'm desperately trying to do it really fast. But otherwise, I don't really feel the need to even switch for this. And that's the only reason why I do that is because I rolled for Dimension Police so much that I had, like, 8 No Life Kings or something. So that's just how things go down quite often in the gacha. But yeah, so we're gonna wait for my stamina to come back, and then I'll show you how the AI actually tackles this. Alright, so our stamina is ready, so let's give it a whirl and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So I'm not gonna quick fight as much as I would normally like to do that, but yeah, so this really is the tip. Like, it really is for all decks. We're gonna attempt it a few times, maybe it won't work out, but you're gonna see if it does or not. So let's take a look. The best thing as well about auto is that you can skip this start by just clicking a few times. Your AI will, do the auto, they're going to do the filtering on their own, and here you can also switch auto to 5 times speed, which is really good, so that way you can get through everything much quicker, and therefore makes things a little bit more bearable, and just a faster process really. So here, didn't get a crit, unfortunate, but that's okay. Still plenty of chances for that to happen. So you really hope for the AI to crit early on, but yeah, and then as I said, this really applies to the hard character fights, the hard story fights as well, because there you will have some games, like against Goki, I know it's quite hard, and then there's one against Kyo that also people find pretty difficult. We don't get a trigger, we're pretty unlucky, so this might actually be a failed attempt. We'll see how things pace out, of course, but this could be a failed attempt, so then you just restart. Like, you still get 100 VP out of it as well, so it's not like you're losing everything. So it's actually pretty nice. And then now we're just going to see. We're going to take a bit of damage here. Not too bad, though, not too bad. And then... ooh, he checks a stand, so that's going to hit. So we're going to go to 3, and there's our first crit. Going defensively, unfortunately. And then we draw into a heal, so that's not too bad. Let's see if our... let's see, he's gonna make a bunch of... oh man, I don't like that the AI does not make a proper column. That's really annoying, because he could have just called the dual axe to the other column and taken out the berserk at least, or gotten the second attack out. So I think this will be a failed attempt. Alright, so as you can see, it failed on the first attempt, but like I said, this is bound to happen. You're basically just almost re-rolling for your AI to have good luck. So we lose, we don't get it, but I still get 100 VP out of it, and so then you can just retry, and it only costs 1 stamina. So let's just go for it once again. What we can also sometimes do is, of course, if you see that the AI is doing something stupid like it did last game, you can always pause the auto and correct it if you're not like doing something else. But the good thing about this is that you can literally do whatever else you need to do during the day, like, go make your coffee, do your homework, do whatever needs to be done. And then you can come back to it and just see if it cleared it. If not, then just retry. So here, oh, he checks the defensive. Do we get a crit? Nope, that's a PG, unfortunate. And our AI managed to get great stuck of all things. That's incredible. I actually find it hard to believe that this could happen, but here we are. Alright, I think if we see that things are not going well, and especially with the AI getting great stuck, I think we can just surrender on our own. So just quickly GG that. And this will take some time. Like, there have been some character fights where, like, I literally like, it takes like about an hour, honestly, at times to get through it. And you don't get the 100 VP if you surrender too early, but as you can see, I still have the 17 stamina, so it doesn't look like it takes away your stamina. It doesn't seem that it does. So then I'm just gonna do it once again. Okay, he gets an Overlord. I mean, that's kind of nice. Going first, at least this time it won't be great stuck, so that's good. And then make it ×5 again. So, yeah, like, this can take some time, but it is more efficient. Like, you can also play it manually with a bunch of crits, but for character fights, it is recommended to play a bunch of crits simply because you can steal games really easily. And then if it fails, like, at least when you retry, you have a higher chance because of the crits. So, that's just, like, my big recommendation when it comes to this. Alright, that one looked like it would have worked out, but it did not. So just keep trying, keep trying. I am going to keep recording until it works out, because I don't want to, you know, give super false advice. Speaking of false advice, though, a lot of you guys asked for me to do budget decks for each clan, and I personally don't think that's a good idea, because I don't want to, like, make a budget build for everything just to show you something that you can build, but then if it's actually bad, why should I be advertising something that you're not even going to win with, you know? So I'd rather only cover budget decks that actually have potential in ranked. Like, if a deck doesn't have potential in ranked, I think it's not worth covering. Simply because, like, you can build some bare bones deck for any clan, basically, just based on rares and double rares, or, like, commons. But I don't want to cover it if it's not good, because then I don't want people to be like, oh, you told me to play this, I'm not winning at all, I lost my win streak, blah blah blah, you know, all those things. So if a budget deck is good, like Nova's are, I'll cover it. But if it's not, no point. In my opinion, there's no point to cover it. There we go! Oh my god. That actually took, what, like 4 or 5 attempts? Sorry, the sun is out already pretty strongly, but that took about 4 or 5 attempts of just leaving it in auto. Obviously I didn't talk through it because I didn't know how long it would take, so I just did other stuff. But this is what I mean. Like, it finished with 5 damage, which is unfortunate, but you can still redo it like that, and just let the AI handle it. Like, a lot of people have been asking, like, oh, give me a tip, give me a tip, give me a tip, you know, for clearing these things. But honestly, just pump it with crits, and bet that your opponent doesn't have PGs. And even if they do, you get through them and then win the next turn. It's, I guess you can call it lazy. Obviously, if you have great finished decks, you can beat them manually. But if you are on a budget, if you have just a bunch of bare bones stuff, then challenge it with whatever you have and just load it with crits and watch RNG carry you all the way to victory. So yeah, this is honestly my biggest tip for character fights and the difficult story fights. Like, just let the CPU handle it sometimes. The AI seems a bit dumber than the Japanese one. I think in Japan it went through a few updates that are not out in English yet, so that's something worthy to consider. But yeah, so honestly, it's just, it really is that easy. It really is that easy. This is my biggest tip. A lot of you might not like it, but this is the biggest tip I can give you guys. So coming next will be videos on tips for ranked. Those will be serious, actual proper tips on how to make your climb to legend easier, and, you know, your general experience in the game more pleasant as you climb. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.